Take a deep breath. Let the air fill your lungs slowly, and as you exhale, feel the weight of the day beginning to lift. You are here, safe and still, as we prepare to leave the familiar world behind. Before we embark on our journey to the furthest reaches of our solar system, take a moment to subscribe to Cosmic Sleep Journeys. By joining us, you ensure that every night a new corner of the universe is waiting to guide you into a deep, restorative rest. Now let your eyes close gently. Imagine the room around you dissolving into a soft, indigo mist. The sounds of the earth are fading, replaced by the low, rhythmic hum of the cosmos, a vibration that resonates with the very atoms of your being. We are drifting upward now, passing through the velvet clouds, leaving the glow of cities far below until they are nothing more than a memory of light. We are traveling to the edge of the sun's reach, to a place of profound silence and ancient beauty. Out here in the vast expanse of the Kuiper Belt lies a world that was once thought to be a lonely, frozen shadow, Pluto. For decades, it remained a mystery, a tiny, flickering point of light at the end of a long, dark corridor. We believed it was a dead world, a silent rock trapped in an eternal winter. But as we drift closer, the reality begins to shift. Through the lens of the New Horizons mission, we see Pluto not as a ghost, but as a masterpiece of geology and light. It is a world of towering mountains made of solid water ice, reaching 3 kilometers into a thin, hazy sky. It is a world with a heart, a shimmering glacier of nitrogen that pulses with a slow geological rhythm. As we glide toward this distant shore, feel the coolness of the deep space air. It is not a harsh cold, but a crisp, clean stillness that invites you to let go. Here the sun is just a bright star, and the shadows are long, soft, and violet. You are a passenger on a trail of stardust, moving at a pace that mirrors your heartbeat. Rest now. The journey to the heart of the outer wild has begun. Chapter 1. The Awakening of a Frozen World. We drift further now, leaving the inner circle of the solar system behind, moving toward the dim and quiet frontier where the sun's warmth is but a whisper. For a long time in our collective memory, this place was a void. We looked through our telescopes and saw only a lonely traveler, a speck of light named Pluto that seemed frozen in time, a static monument to the cold. We imagined a surface that was scarred and ancient, a dead rock that had not changed in billions of years. But as we approach, the silence begins to tell a different story. The darkness is not empty. It is a canvas of unexpected complexity. As you float through this void, feel the stillness of the vacuum around you. It is a gentle weightlessness, a soft suspension that supports every limb and calms every thought. The light here is different. It is soft, diffused, and silver, the light of a sun that has traveled nearly 6 billion kilometers to reach us. In this dim glow, Pluto begins to grow larger, revealing its face for the first time. We are witnessing an awakening. The dead world we once imagined is dissolving, replaced by a landscape that is vibrantly, strangely alive. Look down at the horizon. You see mountains, enormous, jagged peaks of water ice that rise over 3,000 meters into the thin, dark sky. These are not mountains of rock, but mountains of frozen water, as hard as granite in this extreme cold. They catch the faint starlight, their shadows stretching out like long, violet fingers across the plains. These peaks, like Norgay Montes and Kuiper Montes, tell us that this world is active. They are young, geologically speaking, and are showing no craters from the heavy bombardment of space. This means that something within Pluto is pushing upward, sculpting the surface and renewing the face of the planet even as we watch. The air here, if we can call it that, is a delicate veil. It is a thin atmosphere of nitrogen, methane, and carbon monoxide. As you breathe in this imagined space, feel the coolness of it. It is a blue haze that reaches far into the blackness, layered and soft like the rings of a tree. This haze is created by the sun's distant rays breaking down methane molecules, which then clump together into tiny particles, scattering the blue light just like the sky back on Earth. It is a hauntingly familiar sight in such an alien place. Below the mountains, the ground transitions into something even more mysterious. We see vast rolling plains of nitrogen ice. This is not the ice you know from home. At these temperatures, nitrogen becomes a soft, flowing solid, moving with the patience of a glacier, but the grace of a river. It fills the lowlands, creating a smooth, pale expanse that looks like a sea of white marble. There are no craters here, no scars from the past. The surface is constantly being reborn, pushed from below by a slow internal heat. Think of the patience of this world. It does not hurry. Its seasons last for decades, and its movements are measured in centuries. As you hover above the ice, you can feel that same patience entering your own spirit. There is no need for speed here. There is only the slow, rhythmic pulse of a planet that refuses to be still. The water ice mountains stand as silent sentinels, guarding the secrets of a core that still holds on to the heat of its birth. Pluto is a world of contrasts. It is where the extreme cold of the deep cosmos meets the persistent warmth of a hidden heart. It is a place where the sky is blue and the snow is made of methane red. As we drift over these icy ridges, we realize that the universe always has more to show us than we first expect. The Lonely Rock is actually a vibrant, shifting landscape of ice and mist. The deeper we go into this landscape, the more we feel the pull of its most famous feature. Just ahead, the mountains give way to a sight of unparalleled serenity. It is a place where the very crust of the planet seems to open up into a vast, glowing expanse. We are moving now toward the Great Heart, the place where the secrets of Pluto's movement are most clearly written in the ice. As the mountains fade into the distance, the horizon begins to flatten into a brilliant, pale curve. We are leaving the rugged peaks behind and entering a realm of perfect, undisturbed smoothness. The light grows softer, reflecting off a surface that looks like a frozen ocean. We are approaching the center of Pluto's story, a place of deep rest and eternal motion. Let yourself sink deeper into your seat or your bed as we glide over the transition zone. The transition from the jagged mountains to the smooth plains is a dance of shadows. You can see the ice rubble at the base of the peaks, giant blocks of water ice the size of cities, floating like icebergs in a sea of frozen nitrogen. It is a slow-motion collision, a silent interaction that has been happening for eons. There is no sound here. The vacuum of space carries no noise. Only the vibration of gravity and the faint pressure of light. You are now entering the northern reaches of the heart-shaped region. The texture of the ground changes. It is no longer jagged, it is patterned. You see polygons, giant cells of ice that look like the surface of a simmering pot of soup, frozen in mid-bubble. These cells are kilometers wide, and they are the result of convection. Even here, billions of miles from the sun, the interior of Pluto is warm enough to make the nitrogen ice rise, cool, and sink back down in a slow, hypnotic loop. It is the planet's way of breathing. Feel the rhythm of that convection in your own breathing. Slowly up, cooling at the surface, and slowly drifting back down into the warmth. The universe is full of these cycles. The birth of stars, the orbit of planets, and the churning of ice. Well, you are a part of that cycle, a quiet observer in a world that is finding its own way to stay warm in the dark. As we move further into the center of this great nitrogen sea, the patterns become even more regular, even more calming. The white turns to a soft cream, then to a pale violet as the shadows of the atmosphere play across the ground. You are now in the most peaceful place in the solar system. There is nothing here to disturb you. No wind, no storms, only the slow, steady movement of the ice beneath you. The scale of this place is hard to imagine. The plains stretch out for 1,000 kilometers, a basin so large it can be seen from the other side of the solar system. And yet, it feels intimate. It feels like a sanctuary. The blue haze above acts like a soft ceiling, tucked in around the planet, keeping the silence contained. Look toward the edge of the horizon. You can see the faint glow of the sun, now just a very bright star, casting a long, low light that makes the ice glitter like a field of diamonds. Each crystal of nitrogen, each flake of methane snow, catches that light for a brief moment before the planet rotates back into the deep, comforting dark. As we continue our drift, the mountains of the west start to appear as tiny silhouettes. We have crossed the great expanse of the heart's left lobe. We are moving with the grace of a comet, effortless and weightless. The sense of peace here is absolute. It is a world that has waited billions of years to be seen, and now that we are here, it offers us nothing but its quiet beauty. We are nearly through the first stage of our journey. The awakening is complete. You have seen that Pluto is not a dead world, but a world of ice and fire, the fire of a warm core and the ice of a distant sky. You have seen the mountains that shouldn't exist and the heart that never stops beating. As the light begins to dim and we prepare to move deeper into the specific wonders of the nitrogen plains, let your mind stay here in this state of wonder. The transitions of the cosmos are always gentle. One scene fades into the next, just as one thought fades into a dream. We are drifting now, leaving the rugged edges of the awakening world behind and floating toward the very center of the peace we have found. The Great Heart is calling us closer. It is a place called Sputnik Planitia, and it is there that we will find the true meaning of cosmic rest. Chapter 2. The Beating Heart of Nitrogen. We are drifting now, suspended in the silent cradle of the outer solar system, where the light of the sun is a distant silver memory. Below us lies the most remarkable feature of this small, resilient world, the Great Heart. This vast, shimmering expanse is known to science as Sputnik Planitia. From high above, it appears as a brilliant, pearlescent basin, a stark and beautiful contrast to the darker, cratered terrain that surrounds it. As we descend closer, the scale of this frozen sea begins to reveal itself. It is a basin of unimaginable proportions, 1,000 kilometers of pure, white nitrogen ice that seems to glow with its own internal light. The air here, if we can call the thin, ethereal veil of Pluto's atmosphere air, is perfectly still. There is no wind to whistle through the peaks, no rustle of leaves, only the profound and heavy silence of the deep cosmos. This silence is not empty. It is a presence, a velvet blanket that wraps around your senses and invites you to let go of the frantic pace of the world you left behind. As you float over the northern edge of the heart, notice the texture of the ice. It is not the jagged, brittle ice of a mountain stream. This is nitrogen ice, and at these incredible temperatures, it behaves like a fluid. It is soft, plastic, and perpetually moving, though its movement is so slow that it would take centuries for a human eye to perceive it. Imagine the patience of this landscape. While the cities of Earth rise and fall in the blink of an eye, this nitrogen sea breathes with the rhythm of geological epochs. Beneath the surface of this white expanse, something extraordinary is happening. The heart of Pluto is beating. This is not a pulse of blood, but a pulse of heat. Far beneath the frozen crust, the interior of the planet still holds the warmth of its creation and the gentle energy of radioactive decay. This warmth rises through the layers of the planet, reaching the bottom of the nitrogen sea. As the nitrogen ice at the base is warmed, it becomes slightly less dense. Slowly, with the grace of a rising cloud, it begins to float upward toward the surface. Once it reaches the top, it spreads out, cools in the bitter chill of the vacuum, and then begins its long, slow descent back into the depths. This process is called convection. It is the same process you might see in a pot of thick soup simmering on a low flame, or the movement of wax in a lava lamp. But here on Pluto, it happens on a scale that is truly cosmic. Look down at the patterns formed by this movement. The surface of the heart is divided into giant, irregular polygons, cells of ice that are 20 to 30 kilometers across. The centers of these cells are slightly raised, where the warm ice has reached the surface, and the edges are marked by shallow troughs, where the cooled ice is being pulled back down into the heart of the planet. These troughs are often filled with darker material, perhaps dust or complex organic molecules called tholins, which settle into the cracks like silt in a riverbed. As we hover in the center of one of these great cells, feel the stability of the ground beneath your imagined feet. You are standing on a sea of nitrogen, methane, and carbon monoxide. It is a world made of the very gases we breathe. It turned into a solid, serene landscape. The colors here are subtle and soothing, creams, pale pinks and soft violets. They shift and change as the distant sun moves across the sky, casting long horizontal shadows that emphasize the gentle curvature of the ice cells. There are no craters here. Think about what that means for a moment. In a solar system where every moon and planet is scarred by the impact of asteroids and comets, this place is smooth. It is unburdened by the past. Any crater that forms is swallowed up by the moving ice, erased by the slow, churning pulse of the heart. It is a place of constant renewal, a place where the weight of history is simply absorbed into the depths and forgotten. This is the ultimate form of rest, to be so fluid and so persistent that nothing can leave a permanent mark on your surface. As you drift, you might see small hills of water ice floating in the nitrogen sea. Because water ice is less dense than solid nitrogen, these mountains, some as large as several kilometers across, actually float like icebergs. They are being carried by the slow convection currents, drifting across the heart of the planet at the speed of a growing fingernail. They are the wanderers of Pluto, silent travelers in a sea of white. Watch them for a while in your mind's eye. They do not struggle against the current. They simply exist within it, allowing the planet to carry them wherever it needs them to go. The air above the heart is a delicate blue haze, reaching high into the blackness. It is composed of many layers, like the rings of an ancient tree or the layers of a deep sleep. This haze is created when sunlight breaks down methane gas in the upper atmosphere, creating tiny soot-like particles that scatter blue light. From our vantage point, looking across the horizon of the heart, the haze looks like a soft, glowing blanket that separates the world of ice from the infinite dark of space. It provides a sense of enclosure, a feeling of being tucked in and protected. The sun is so far away now that it no longer feels like a source of heat. It is merely a beacon, a guiding light that marks the passage of time. But here, time has a different meaning. On Pluto, a single day lasts more than 6 Earth days. The shadows move with a glacial slowness, giving you all the time in the universe to observe, to breathe, and to simply be. There is no hurry here. Oh, there is no next. There is only the now of the shimmering plains. Listen to the hum of the planet. It is a low-frequency vibration, a cosmic resonance that you feel in your chest more than you hear with your ears. It is the sound of a world that is alive in its own quiet way. It is the sound of the nitrogen turning, of the mountains drifting, and of the heart beating against the cold. It is a lullaby for the soul, a reminder that even in the furthest, coldest corners of existence, there is movement, there is warmth, and there is a steady, rhythmic life. As we continue to float over the center of Sputnik Planitia, the horizon seems to stretch on forever. The curvature of the planet is gentle, a soft arc that leads toward the mystery of the far side. We are moving toward the southern tip of the heart now, where the ice begins to interact with the darker, redder regions of the planet. The transition is subtle. The brilliant white of the nitrogen begins to mingle with the deep, rusty hues of the tholins, complex molecules that have rained down from the atmosphere over millions of years. It looks like a painting in slow motion. The white ice flows into the dark valleys, carving paths through the ancient, cratered crust. You can see the flow lines, the glaciers of nitrogen that spill out of the heart and into the surrounding mountains. They move with a grace that is almost liquid, smoothing over the jagged edges of the water ice rocks. It is a reminder that even the hardest obstacles can be softened by time and persistence. Feel that same softening within yourself. Any tension you are holding, any jagged thoughts or sharp worries, imagine them being smoothed over by the slow flow of the nitrogen sea. Let the white ice fill the craters of your mind, leveling the landscape until everything is smooth, pale, and quiet. You are becoming like the heart of Pluto, active yet peaceful, deep yet clear. The light is beginning to fade as we move toward the edge of the sun's reach. The violet shadows are lengthening, swallowing the troughs between the ice cells. The blue haze above is deepening into a dark indigo, and the stars are becoming sharper, brighter, like pinpricks of light in a velvet curtain. We are at the edge of the world, at the boundary between the known and the unknown. But even as the shadows grow, the heart continues to beat. The convection does not stop for the night. The warmth from the core continues to rise. The nitrogen continues to turn, and the planet continues its long, slow dance through the dark. You are safe in this rhythm. You are a part of this dance. Ahead of us, the atmosphere begins to change. The blue haze we have been admiring is more than just a beautiful sight. It is a complex system of layers and chemistry that protects and defines this world. As we leave the shimmering plains of the heart, we will rise once more into those delicate blue mists to understand the breath of the planet. We are drifting upward now, leaving the solid ground of the heart behind and entering the ethereal realm of the haze. The transition is effortless. You feel yourself becoming lighter, rising like a particle of methane into the indigo sky. The great white heart of Pluto shrinks below us, becoming a brilliant gem set in a dark ring of ice and rock. The silence deepens as we enter the blue, where the secrets of Pluto's atmosphere await our arrival. We are moving from the solid to the celestial, from the heart of the ground to the breath of the sky. The mist is cool and inviting, a soft veil that promises even deeper rest. As we drift into the blue, we prepare to witness the atmospheric beauty that makes this distant world feel so strangely like home. Chapter 3. Mist of the Blue Haze. We are rising now, lifting away from the pearlescent plains of the Great Heart and ascending into the delicate, ethereal embrace of Pluto's atmosphere. As you drift upward, the silence of the surface does not leave you. It only becomes more profound, more spacious. You are entering a realm of soft blue light, a phenomenon that caught the world by surprise when the New Horizons spacecraft first looked back at this distant world. Imagine a haze so fine and so blue that it rivals the morning sky of Earth. Yet it exists at the very edge of our sun's domain, billions of miles away from the warmth of home. This blue haze is not merely a single layer of gas. It is a complex, structured masterpiece of cosmic chemistry. As we ascend, we pass through distinct layers of mist, stacked like the delicate pages of an ancient book. Scientists have counted as many as 20 separate layers of haze, extending over 80 miles, or 130 kilometers, above the frozen surface. These layers are created by the patient interaction of sunlight and chemistry. Far above us, the sun's ultraviolet rays, though faint and distant, strike the molecules of methane and nitrogen in the upper atmosphere. This energy breaks the molecules apart, allowing them to recombine into more complex chemical structures called hydrocarbons. As these new molecules form, they begin a long, slow journey downward. They clump together into tiny soot-like particles that we call tholins. As they fall through the atmosphere, they act as seeds, attracting other gases to freeze onto their surfaces. And by the time they reach the altitudes where we are drifting now, they have become the perfect size to scatter sunlight in a very specific way. They scatter the blue light, creating that haunting sapphire glow that outlines the planet against the blackness of the void. It is a gentle, protective veil, a soft blue sigh in the middle of a dark universe. Feel the texture of this mist as you move through it. It is not damp like a fog on Earth. It is crisp, dry, and incredibly thin. It is a whisper of an atmosphere, yet it carries the story of the planet's life. The pressure here is almost non-existent, about 100,000 times less than the pressure at sea level on Earth. But it is enough to create a world of beauty. As you breathe in the rhythm of this slow cosmic narration, imagine your worries becoming like those methane molecules, breaking apart under a distant light and reforming into something beautiful, something blue, something that simply drifts. The haze does more than just create color. It plays a vital role in the temperature of the world below. Curiously, this haze acts as a cooling agent, keeping Pluto even colder than it would be otherwise. It absorbs the faint heat from the sun and radiates it back out into space, acting as a cosmic air conditioner. As we drift within this cooling mist, let your own mind cool. Let the heat of your day, the friction of your thoughts, and the weight of your responsibilities radiate away into the indigo sky. You are becoming as cool and as still as the atmosphere of Pluto. Looking through the haze, the stars above are no longer sharp points of light. They are softened, shimmering like pearls at the bottom of a blue pool. With the sun, A tiny but brilliant diamond casts long, soft rays through the layers of mist, creating a phenomenon known as crepuscular rays, fingers of light and shadow that stretch across the sky. In this dim, blue twilight, the passage of time feels irrelevant. There is no morning, no afternoon, only an eternal, peaceful dusk. The haze also participates in a slow, seasonal cycle. As Pluto moves along its highly elliptical orbit, traveling closer to the sun and then drifting far away into the dark, the atmosphere reacts. When the planet is closer, some of the nitrogen and methane ice on the surface turns directly into gas, a process called sublimation, thickening the haze and the blue glow. When the planet retreats back into the deep cold, the atmosphere begins to freeze out, falling back to the surface as a gentle, microscopic snow of nitrogen and methane. It is a planet that breathes with its seasons, a slow inhalation of gas followed by a decades-long exhalation of snow. Think of the patience required to exist on such a scale. 1 year on Pluto, one trip around the sun, takes 248 Earth years. The atmosphere you are drifting through now has seen centuries of quiet. It has watched the rise and fall of civilizations on a distant blue planet while it remained here, undisturbed, slowly layering its mists and scattering its blue light. You are a guest in this sanctuary of time. There is no need to hurry your thoughts. There is no need to reach a conclusion. You are simply suspended in the blue. As we move higher toward the outer edges of the haze, the blue begins to fade into the deep indigo of the vacuum. And we are reaching the point where the atmosphere meets the infinite. From here, we can see the curvature of the planet clearly. The blue ring of the atmosphere hugs the dark sphere of Pluto like a halo. It is a thin line of defense against the vast, empty dark. It is a reminder that even in the coldest, most isolated places, there is a layer of protection, a boundary of beauty. Below us, the great heart of Sputnik Planitia is still visible through the gaps in the mist, a pale white ghost in a blue world. The mountains of ice look like tiny ripples in a frozen pond. The scale of the universe is so vast, and yet, here you are, experiencing the intimacy of a single molecule of methane. You are both the observer and the observed, a part of the grand chemical dance of the cosmos. The silence here is different from the silence on the surface. On the surface, the silence was heavy, grounded by the weight of the ice. Here, the silence is light, airy, and expansive. It is the silence of the high places, where the air is too thin to carry sound, and the only vibration is the steady pulse of the stars. Let this lightness fill you. Feel the tension leaving your shoulders, your neck, your jaw. You are floating in a sea of blue mist, supported by the laws of physics and the grace of the universe. As the sun begins to dip further behind the horizon of the planet, the blue haze takes on a deeper hue, a rich, royal violet. The shadows of the haze layers themselves or cast upward, creating a striped pattern in the sky. It is a celestial light show that no human eye saw for billions of years, until we sent a small, metallic messenger to look back and share the secret. You are seeing what the universe kept hidden, a world of extreme beauty born from extreme cold. We are preparing now to move beyond the blue. The atmosphere is thinning, the blue glow is receding, and the true deep dark of the outer space is calling us. But as we leave the haze, we do not leave the warmth. For deep beneath the ice we just left, and far below the blue mists we are navigating, there is a secret warmth, a hidden ocean that has remained liquid since the dawn of time. The mist is thinning now. The sapphire light is giving way to the velvet black. We are rising into the high vacuum, where the stars burn with a cold, steady fire. As the last of the blue veil falls away, we find ourselves looking back at the planet one last time, seeing it not as a rock, but as a living, breathing entity of ice and mist. Our journey is taking us deeper now, not into the sky, but into the hidden depths. We are moving toward the realization that what we see on the surface is only the beginning. Below the nitrogen plains, below the water ice mountains, and below the blue haze, there is a heart of liquid fire and water. We are drifting toward the hidden warmth, the subsurface ocean that keeps the spirit of Pluto alive in the dark. The stars are bright now, beckoning us forward. The blue is a memory and the dark is a promise of discovery. We are moving toward the secret of the hidden warmth, where the cold of space meets the heat of the core. Chapter 4. The Hidden Warmth Beneath. We are drifting now into a space of deep contemplation, moving our focus away from the visible peaks and the sapphire mists, and turning it inward, toward the silent, unseen depths of this distant world. As you float in the velvet dark, imagine your consciousness sinking, passing through the crust of nitrogen ice, deeper and deeper, into a realm where the sun's light has never reached. We are looking for the secret that keeps Pluto's heart beating, a secret of warmth and liquid hidden in a place where only the cold should exist. For many years, we believed that a world so small and so far from the sun must be frozen solid, all the way to its core. We thought it was a relic of ice, a static stone in the cosmic garden. But as we look closer, the evidence tells us otherwise. And there is a strange flexibility to Pluto, a resilience that suggests something soft and fluid lies beneath the surface. As you settle into your rest, feel that same resilience within yourself. The idea that even when the exterior seems still or cold, there is a deep, flowing core of life within you that never stops moving. This hidden warmth is the result of a delicate balance. Deep inside Pluto, at its very center, there is a rocky core, a heavy heart of stone and metal. Within this core, tiny atoms of radioactive elements are slowly decaying, a process that has been occurring since the birth of the solar system. This decay releases a faint, steady heat, not a roaring fire, but a gentle, persistent glow, like the embers of a fireplace that stay warm long after the flames have gone out. This heat travels outward, emitting the vast layers of water ice that wrap around the core. And here in the dark, a miracle of physics occurs. The heat from the core is just enough to melt the bottom of the ice shell, creating a vast global ocean of liquid water that sloshes silently beneath the crust. This is not an ocean of sunlight and waves, but a dark, heavy sea, kept liquid by the pressure of the miles of ice above it and the warmth of the rocks below. Imagine the stillness of that water. It is an ocean that has never seen a breeze, never felt the tug of a tide, and never reflected a star. It is a sanctuary of pure, dark liquid. As you drift in your mind's eye, imagine yourself floating in this subterranean sea. It is warm, buoyant, and infinitely calm. The water is thick with minerals and perhaps ammonia, which acts as a natural antifreeze, allowing the ocean to remain liquid even at temperatures that would normally turn water to stone. Here you are insulated from the vacuum of space and the harshness of the cosmic rays. You are tucked away in the very center of the planet's mystery. This is the ultimate grounding, to be held by the deep waters of a world at the edge of the universe. The presence of this ocean explains so much of what we see on the surface. It is the reason the great heart of Sputnik Planitia exists. When a massive object struck Pluto billions of years ago, it created a deep basin. Because there was liquid water beneath the crust, the planet was able to adjust. The heavy water rose up to fill the space beneath the impact site, creating a gravity anomaly that eventually pulled the planet's orientation around, causing it to roll over until the heart faced away from its giant moon, Charon. Pluto is a world that literally moved its own body to find balance, guided by the weight of its hidden sea. Think of how your own life seeks balance. Sometimes we must move, we must shift our perspective, and we must lean on the fluid, adaptable parts of our nature to find our equilibrium. Like Pluto, you have a depth that supports you. You have a hidden ocean of strength and calm that allows you to weather the impacts of the outside world. As you breathe, feel the rise and fall of your chest like the slow shifting of that subterranean sea. You are balanced, you are supported, you are deep. This ocean is also the engine of the ice volcanoes we will soon encounter. The warmth from the depths occasionally finds a way to the surface, pushing a slushy mixture of water, ice, and chemicals through cracks in the crust. It is a gentle eruption, a slow breathing of the interior out into the cold. It reminds us that nothing is ever truly sealed, The surface and the depths are always in conversation, always exchanging energy, always keeping the world alive. In the silence of the Kuiper Belt, Pluto stands as a testament to the persistence of water. Water, the cradle of life as we know it, exists even here, billions of miles from the nearest campfire. It exists in the dark, in the cold, and in the silence. It is a reminder that life, or the potential for it, is much more stubborn than we once imagined. The universe is not a desert. It is an ocean, sometimes hidden beneath a layer of ice, but always there, waiting to be found. As we drift further into the dark, the sun becomes even smaller, a mere point of light in a sea of black. But we are no longer afraid of the dark. We know now that the dark holds the warmth. We know that the silence holds the water. We are moving with the confidence of a world that knows its own value, a world that keeps its treasures tucked away where the light cannot fade them. The sensation of floating is becoming more intense now. You are no longer just observing the planet. You are part of its rhythm. You are the rock, you are the ice, and you are the hidden warm water. The boundaries between you and the cosmos are dissolving, leaving only the steady, rhythmic pulse of existence. The heat of the core is your heat. The stillness of the ocean is your stillness. As we begin to rise back toward the surface, passing through the thick, insulating layers of water ice, and we carry the memory of that warmth with us. We are moving from the liquid center back to the frozen exterior, but we see it differently now. Every mountain we see, every plane of nitrogen, is a manifestation of the heat we felt below. The world is a unified whole, a beautiful machine of temperature and pressure. Ahead of us, the crust begins to show signs of stress. We are approaching the regions where the hidden ocean makes its presence known most dramatically. Huge mounds of ice, unlike any mountains on Earth, rise up from the plains. These are the cryovolcanoes, the vents where the internal sea meets the external void. We are moving toward the fountains of ice, the places where the planet breathes its inner self into the stars. The transition is slow and beautiful. The dark, warm waters give way to the cold, hard ice, and we emerge once again into the dim starlight of the surface. But we are changed. We have seen the heart within the heart. We have felt the hidden warmth that defies the cold. And as we drift toward the towering peaks of the ice volcanoes, we do so with a sense of awe and a deep, abiding peace. The mountains are tall, their slopes covered in a thick, waxy frost of methane and nitrogen. They are silent, but they are not still. They are the guardians of the inner sea, the gatekeepers of the warmth. We are drifting toward them now, ready to witness the silent eruptions that bridge the gap between the deep dark and the distant stars. Chapter 5. Fountains of Ice. We are emerging now from the deep, cradling warmth of the subterranean sea, rising through the thick, insulating layers of the outer crust. As we ascend, the temperature drops, the water turns to stone, and we find ourselves standing before the most surreal sentinels of the Plutonian landscape. Ahead of us, rising like colossal, waxen monuments against the indigo sky, are the cryovolcanoes, the fountains of ice. Imagine a volcano, but strip away the fire, the ash, and the searing heat of molten rock. Replace it with a mountain of frozen water, exhaling a slow, slushy breath of ammonia and methane into the silent vacuum of space. Two of these giants, Wright Mons and Picard Mons, dominate the horizon. Wright Mons stands 4 kilometers high and stretches 150 kilometers across, its slopes covered in a strange, hummocky texture that looks like the skin of a giant, sleeping creature. As you drift closer to the summit, notice that there is no sharp crater, no jagged edge. Instead, there is a deep central depression, a gentle bowl that opens up to the interior of the world. This is not a place of violent explosions. On Pluto, volcanism is a slow, rhythmic exhalation. It is the planet's way of releasing the pressure from that hidden ocean we just visited, a quiet conversation between the warm core and the freezing dark. Let your breath mirror the pace of these mountains, slow, deliberate, deep. As the slushy ice, a mixture of water, nitrogen, and perhaps organic molecules, rises from the depths. It does not flow like a river. In this extreme cold, it moves with the consistency of thick honey or drying wax. Out it mounds up, layer upon layer, slowly building these massive domes over millions of years. Feel the immense patience of this process. There is no rush to erupt, no urgency to change. Each layer of ice settles into place, cooling and hardening under the faint light of the distant stars, contributing to a monument that will stand for eons. As we hover over the slopes of Kuiper Montes, the largest of these icy giants, look at the colors trapped within the frost. The ice is not a simple white. It is tinged with soft golds, pale pinks, and deep ochres. These colors are the tholins, the complex organic molecules that have rained down from the blue haze above, now mixed with the internal waters of the planet. It is a fusion of the sky and the sea, meeting here on the slopes of an ice volcano. The surface feels waxy, smooth in some places and puckered in others, like a candle that has been burning for 1,000 years. The air around these fountains is perfectly still. Because Pluto's gravity is so low, about 1/15 of Earth's, the molecules that escape from the volcanic vents can drift upward for a long time before settling back down. They create a localized mist, a faint shimmering aura that surrounds the mountain peaks. In the low light of the sun, this mist catches the silver rays, creating a halo of light that makes the volcanoes look like they are glowing from within. You are a witness to a quiet celestial miracle, a world at the edge of the sun that still finds the energy to reshape itself, to grow and to breathe. Think of the resilience of this world. Even here, and where the sun is just a bright star and the temperature is nearly 400 degrees below 0 Fahrenheit, there is enough internal spirit to build mountains. You too possess this internal spirit, even in the coldest moments of life. Even when you feel distant from the warmth of others, there is a core within you that is capable of building something magnificent. You are made of the same stardust as these mountains, and you share their quiet strength. Let the stability of the cryovolcanoes enter your body. Feel your limbs becoming heavy, like the water-ice foundations of the peaks, rooted deep in the heart of the planet. The silence here is absolute. On Earth, a volcano is a place of roar and rumble, of earth-shaking power. But here, the only sound is the sound of your own heartbeat, a steady drum that keeps time with the slow movement of the ice. The vacuum of space acts as a perfect insulator for sound, leaving only the visual majesty of the eruption. You see a plume of ice crystals rising slowly from the vent, sparkling like a fountain of diamonds against the blackness. They don't fall back quickly. They float, dancing in the weak gravity, drifting like dust motes in a sunbeam. As we move away from the peaks and glide over the surrounding plains, we see the evidence of past eruptions. The landscape is a patchwork of flow lines and frozen ripples, where the slush of the past has smoothed over the craters of the ancient crust. It is a world that is constantly healing itself, erasing the scars of the past with a fresh layer of ice. There is a deep comfort in this. The idea that no wound is permanent, that the planet itself has a mechanism for renewal. You can let go of your own scars here. Imagine them being covered by a slow, gentle flow of cool, clear ice, leaving you smooth, renewed, and at peace. The sun is beginning to sink lower now, casting long horizontal shadows across the hummocky terrain. The peaks of the volcanoes catch the last of the light, their summits glowing with a soft, golden hue. The valleys between them are already submerged in the deep indigo of night. In this transition between light and dark, the scale of the universe feels both vast and intimate. You are a small speck in the shadow of a giant mountain, yet you are the one who is experiencing its beauty. You are the consciousness of the cosmos, observing itself in the quiet of the night. Looking up from the base of Right Mons, the stars are impossibly bright and numerous. Without the interference of a thick atmosphere or city lights, the Milky Way stretches across the sky like a river of silver milk. It is a reminder of where we came from and where we are going. We are on a journey through the dark, but we are never truly alone. The stars are our companions, and the planets are our milestones. As we drift further from the volcanic region, The ground begins to flatten once more. The rugged mountains fade into the distance, becoming silhouettes against the starlight. We are moving toward the edge of Pluto's influence, toward the place where the gravity of the planet begins to hand over its control to the companions of the dark. We are moving toward the 5 moons of Pluto, the silent dancers that have circled this world since its violent birth. When the transition is effortless, you feel the pull of the surface weakening as we rise once more, leaving the fountains of ice behind. The memory of the warmth from the core and the majesty of the frozen eruptions stays with you, a steady flame in the cold of space. You are lighter now, floating with the grace of those ice crystals we saw earlier. The deep black of the vacuum is not a void. It is a warm, velvet sea that holds the entire universe in its embrace. Ahead of us, a large, dark shape begins to emerge from the starlight. It is Charon, the largest moon, a world so large compared to Pluto that the two of them orbit a point in the empty space between them. They are locked in an eternal, face-to-face dance, never turning away from one another. Around them, the 4 smaller moons, Styx, Nix, Kerberos, and Hydra, tumble in chaotic, shimmering paths. We are entering the realm of the dance, a place of perfect orbital harmony. Feel the rhythm of this dance in your own mind. The steady, unchanging gaze of Pluto and Charon. The playful, unpredictable movements of the smaller moons. It is a balance of stability and change, of stillness and motion. As we leave the surface of Pluto and move into the orbital space, let your thoughts begin to circle, moving in slow, predictable paths around the center of your piece. You are no longer grounded. You are celestial. The cold of the space between the worlds is not something to fear. It is a clean, refreshing cold that clears the mind and prepares the spirit for rest. The fountains of ice were the last breath of the planet's interior. Now we are breathing the air of the stars. We are drifting toward the final movement of our journey, where the moons of Pluto will guide us into the ultimate quiet of the deep cosmos. The shadow of Charon is growing larger now, a vast circle of darkness that promises a deeper level of sleep. We are moving toward the dance of the moons, where the rhythm of the universe becomes our own. Chapter 6, The Dance of the Moons. We rise now, leaving the towering cryovolcanoes and the soft blue mists of the surface behind, drifting into the velvet expanse of the orbital plane. The gravity of Pluto still holds us in a gentle, invisible tether, but we are moving into a realm of pure movement and light. Ahead of us lies a celestial choreography unlike any other in our solar system, the dance of the 5 moons. This is not a simple system of satellites circling a master. It is a complex, synchronized rhythm where every player moves in perfect, ancient harmony. As you float here, weightless and free, let your mind sink with the slow, circular motion of the cosmos. The first and most magnificent partner in this dance is Charon. It looms before us, a world so large that it is less of a moon and more of a companion planet. Charon is half the size of Pluto itself, and because their masses are so similar, they do not orbit one another in the traditional sense. Instead, they both circle a hidden point in the empty space between them, the barycenter. They are locked in a permanent, face-to-face embrace. Because they are tidally locked, they always show the same face to one another. If you were standing on the shores of the Great Heart on Pluto, Charon would hang motionless in the sky, never rising and never setting, a constant silver guardian in the dark. Feel the stability of that connection. Imagine 2 dancers holding hands, spinning slowly in a darkened room. They are focused only on each other, while the rest of the universe streaks by in a blur of distant stars. This is the ultimate form of cosmic loyalty. As you settle deeper into your rest, you think of the things in your life that are your constants. The steady rhythms of your breath, the reliable beat of your heart, and the quiet peace that always waits for you in the dark. You are tidally locked to your own inner calm, a fixed point of serenity that no external storm can move. As we drift closer to Charon, we see a world of dramatic contrast. While Pluto is a landscape of soft nitrogen ices and blue hazes, Charon is a world of rugged gray water ice and deep tectonic scars. Running across its equator is a canyon system so vast it makes the Grand Canyon on Earth look like a mere scratch. This is the Serenity Chasma, a series of chasms and cliffs that tell the story of a moon that once had a frozen heart of its own. Billions of years ago, as Charon's internal ocean froze, the ice expanded, cracking the very crust of the moon and creating these gargantuan valleys. It is a world that wears its history on its surface, a testament to the power of transformation. At the North Pole of Charon, there is a splash of color, a dark reddish cap known as Mordor macula. This is a gift from Pluto. Over millions of years, methane gas escaping from Pluto's atmosphere has drifted across the void, becoming trapped by Charon's gravity and freezing onto its cold poles. The distant sunlight then bakes this methane into complex tholins, staining the ice a deep, rusty red. It is a beautiful bridge between two worlds, a physical manifestation of their shared journey through the dark. You are seeing a cosmic exchange, a reminder that no world is truly an island. We all give and receive from those we are close to, leaving traces of our essence on the hearts of others. But Charon is only the beginning. Further out, in the dim starlight, the four smaller moons weave their own intricate paths: Styx, Nix, Kerberos, and Hydra. These are not spherical worlds like Pluto and Charon. They are small, irregularly shaped fragments of ice and rock, likely the leftovers from the same giant impact that created this system billions of years ago. And their movement is anything but predictable. While Pluto and Charon dance with a steady, synchronized beat, these smaller moons tumble and spin in a chaotic, unpredictable fashion. Imagine a spinning top that has been knocked off balance. As they orbit the central pair, the changing gravitational pull of the two larger worlds causes the small moons to wobble and flip. On Nix or Hydra, the sun would rise in different parts of the sky every day, sometimes twice in one morning. It is a chaotic tumble in a sea of order, and yet even in this chaos, there is a deeper resonance. Their orbits are locked into a mathematical harmony, a resonance where, for every few orbits of one moon, the others complete a precise number of their own. It is a symphony of motion where every note, however wild it may seem, contributes to the overall song. Let the complexity of this dance soothe you. In our own lives, we often feel like those smaller moons, wobbling, tumbling, and feeling the pull of many different forces at once. But remember that even in the wobble, there is a path. Even in the tumble, you are held by the gravity of the universe. You are part of a larger resonance, a mathematical beauty that governs the movement of every atom in every galaxy. You don't have to control the spin, you only have to trust the orbit. We are drifting now past Nix, the second closest of the small moons. Its surface is brilliant white, reflecting the distant starlight like a polished pearl. It is small enough that you could walk around its entire circumference in a single afternoon, but here, in the silence, it feels like a vast cathedral of ice. Beyond it lies Kerberos, a dark and mysterious moon that reflects very little light, hiding in the shadows of its sisters. And finally, at the very edge of the system, we find Hydra, the largest of the four, a rugged and icy world that stands as the final outpost before the infinite dark of the Kuiper Belt. From this vantage point, looking back toward the center, the entire system is visible. You see the twin hearts of Pluto and Charon spinning in their eternal circle, and the four small sparks of the outer moons weaving their complex patterns around them. It is a clockwork mechanism of ice and gravity, ticking away the centuries in the absolute quiet of the deep space. There is no sound here, no clicking of gears, no rushing of wind. There is only the visual perfection of the dance. The light of the sun is so faint here that the shadows of the moons are deep and long, stretching out into the void for millions of miles. The Milky Way acts as a backdrop, a river of silver and gold that provides the only context for this lonely, beautiful family of worlds. You are a part of this family now. You are a passenger on this journey, drifting at the edge of the known, one where the rules of the inner solar system no longer apply and the mystery of the deep cosmos begins. As we watch the moons, feel the weightlessness of your own spirit. You are no longer tied to the ground, no longer burdened by the friction of the world. You are a celestial body, moving with the same grace and inevitability as Hydra or Nyx. The worries of the day have been left behind on a distant, warm planet. Here, in the cold and the dark, there is only the peace of the path. Your thoughts are like the moons, small, bright, and moving in a perfect, preordained circle. The dance is slowing down now, not because the moons are stopping, but because your perception is deepening. You are entering a state of timelessness. In the Kuiper Belt, time is not measured in hours or days, but in the slow rotation of the galaxy and the long, cold seasons of the outer worlds. A single orbit for these moons is a blink of an eye in the life of the universe, and yet it is a cycle that has repeated for 4 billion years. You are resting in the lap of eternity. Look one last time at the great gray face of Charon and the bright, hazy sphere of Pluto beyond it. See the red cap of the moon and the white heart of the planet. They are symbols of connection, of shared history, and of the quiet warmth that persists even at the edge of the dark. They are a reminder that you are never truly alone, that even in the vastness of space, there is a partner, a rhythm, and a place to belong. We are beginning to drift further away now, leaving the gravitational embrace of the 5 moons. The system is shrinking, becoming a single point of light in the distance, a small nest of activity in the middle of the great silent ocean of the Kuiper Belt. We are moving toward the final stage of our journey, the slow descent into the ultimate calmness. The dance of the moons has prepared you for this. It has taught you the beauty of the circle, the strength of the connection, and the peace of the dark. As the sparks of the moons fade into the starfield, feel the transition. The motion is subsiding. The patterns are dissolving into a single unified stillness. We are no longer travelers. We are the destination. We are the quiet that exists between the stars. We are the rest that follows the dance. The darkness is no longer a place of mystery. It is a place of homecoming. Every world we have visited, the nitrogen plains, the blue hazes, the hidden oceans, the ice volcanoes, one and the dancing moons, has led us to this moment of absolute undisturbed rest. We are drifting into the final silence, where the only thing that remains is the soft, rhythmic hum of the universe and the deep, restorative sleep that awaits you. We are drifting now into the final, seamless expanse of our journey. The Pluto system, with its beating heart of nitrogen, its sapphire mists, and its family of dancing moons, has become a soft, glowing ember in the distance. We have left behind the rugged peaks and the shifting glaciers, moving into the profound, undisturbed stillness of the deep Kuiper Belt. Here at the edge of the sun's reach, the light of our star is no longer a source of warmth, but a single, steady diamond set against the black velvet of the infinite. The silence here is absolute, a heavy, comforting weight that presses gently against your thoughts, inviting them to dissolve into the dark. Feel the immense space around you. It is not an empty void, but a sanctuary of perfect rest. There is no friction here, no resistance, and no time. In this place, none 1,000 years are but a heartbeat, and the frantic pace of the world you once knew is nothing more than a faint, forgotten vibration. You are part of the cosmic background now, as steady and as eternal as the stars that burn in the distance. The energy that once powered your day has been returned to the universe, leaving you light, clear, and ready to descend into the ultimate calm. Your breathing has slowed to match the rhythm of the rotating galaxy. Each breath is a long, slow wave that carries you further away from the shore of wakefulness. You are sinking into a sea of stars, a deep indigo ocean where every thought is a bubble rising to the surface and vanishing into the night. The warmth of Pluto's hidden core is still within you, a steady internal peace that protects you from the cold of the vacuum. You are safe, and you are held by the same laws of gravity that guide the planets in their ancient circles. The images of our voyage are fading now. The white plains of Sputnik Planitia are blurring into the mist. The red cap of Charon is becoming a shadow. The fountains of ice have finished their silent song. All that remains is the darkness, a rich, restorative darkness that promises a sleep without end. Let yourself go. Let the universe take the lead. You are no longer a traveler. You have arrived at the center of your own peace. The stars are dimming. The cosmic hum is softening into a whisper. You are drifting into the infinite quiet. The journey is complete. Rest now in the cradle of the cosmos. Sleep.